I still remember the look on my friend's face when he said to me, "Walter, you're running out of time." It was a sunny afternoon in July, and we were sitting on the porch of my old house in Oakdale. I thought he was talking about the garden I had been putting off fixing, but now I realize he was talking about something much bigger. My friend's words have stuck with me to this day, and I often find myself wondering what he meant by them. My name is Walter, and I'm 78 years old. If you stick with me for the next few minutes, I promise you'll learn one important lesson that I wish someone had taught me when I was younger: that life is shorter than you think, and you should make the most of it. I grew up in a small town in Ohio, where everyone knew each other's names. It was the 1950s, and life was simple. I had a best friend named Jimmy, and we did everything together. We explored the woods, fished in the creek, and played baseball in the summer. But as we got older, things started to change. Jimmy's family moved away, and I was left to navigate high school on my own. I met a new friend, a girl named Sarah, and we started dating. We were young and in love, and we thought we had all the time in the world. But here is what I never told anyone. I was scared. I was scared of losing Sarah, of not being able to provide for her, of not being good enough. I tried to push those feelings aside, but they only got stronger. One day, I made a mistake that would change my life forever. I got into a fight with Sarah, and I said some things I could never take back. She left me, and I was heartbroken. It took me years to realize what had happened. I had let my fear consume me, and it had cost me the love of my life. I often wonder what would have happened if I had just been more patient, more understanding. But as the years went by, I started to understand that life is not about what could have been, but about what is. And what is that life is short. As I look back, I see that I wasted so much time worrying about things that didn't matter. I worried about what other people thought of me, about making enough money, about being successful. But in the end, none of those things brought me happiness. What brought me happiness was the time I spent with the people I loved, the experiences I had, and the memories I made. But here is what I learned. Life is not about the big moments, it's about the small ones. It's about the laughter, the tears, and the quiet moments in between. It's about being present, being mindful, and being kind. I wish someone had told me that when I was younger, because I would have done things differently. I would have spent more time with my family, more time with my friends, and more time doing the things I loved. I would have been more patient, more understanding, and more compassionate. But as the saying goes, when you know better, you do better. And now, I'm trying to make the most of the time I have left. As I sit here today, I realize that my friend was right. I am running out of time. But I'm not going to waste it. I'm going to spend it doing the things that bring me joy, surrounded by the people I love. And I hope you will do the same. But here is what I never told anyone. I still think about Sarah, and what could have been. I still wonder what would have happened if I had just been more patient, more understanding. But as I look back, I see that it's not about what could have been, it's about what is. And what is that life is short, and it's precious. Now I know what my friend meant when he said I was running out of time. He meant that life is fleeting, and it's up to us to make the most of it. I'm glad I finally understand, and I hope you do too. So please, don't make the same mistakes I did. Make the most of the time you have, and cherish every moment. And if you want to hear more stories like this, please subscribe to my channel. As I look back on my journey, I realize that it's the moments we least expect that often have the greatest impact on our lives. For me, it was a chance encounter with an old friend that changed everything. We had lost touch over the years, but running into each other at a coffee shop sparked a conversation that would alter my perspective forever. They had been through their own share of struggles, and hearing their story made me realize that I wasn't alone in my regrets. It was comforting to know that others had also grappled with the same feelings of longing and nostalgia. My friend's words stuck with me, and I began to see the world in a different light. I started to appreciate the little things, like the way the sunlight filters through the trees or the sound of birds singing in the morning. It's amazing how often we take these small joys for granted, isn't it? We get caught up in our daily routines and forget to stop and smell the roses. But it's precisely these moments that make life worth living. As I continued on my path, I met more people who shared their own stories of struggle and triumph. Each one was a reminder that I was part of a larger community, connected by our shared human experience. And with each new connection, I felt a sense of purpose growing within me. I realized that my story, with all its flaws and imperfections, was worth sharing. It was worth sharing because it might resonate with someone out there, someone who was struggling to find their own way. That's why I'm so passionate about creating content that sparks meaningful conversations. I believe that by sharing our stories, we can create a ripple effect of empathy and understanding. We can help each other see that we're not alone, that our struggles are valid, and that our triumphs are worth celebrating. And that's what it's all about, isn't it? It's about connection, community, and the human spirit. So, I want to leave you with a challenge today. Take a moment to reflect on your own story. What are the moments that have shaped you into the person you are today? What are the lessons you've learned, and how can you use them to make a positive impact on the world around you? Remember, your story is unique, and it's worth sharing. Don't be afraid to let your voice be heard, because it might just be the voice that someone else needs to hear. As I close this chapter, I'm reminded of the wise words of a great poet who said that the greatest glory in living lies not in never falling, but in rising every time we fall. It's a reminder that we all stumble, we all make mistakes, but it's how we respond that defines us. So let's rise up, shall we? Let's rise up and make the most of the time we have. Let's cherish every moment, and let's create a world that's filled with love, compassion, and understanding. Thank you for being part of my journey, and I look forward to hearing your story. As I stand here, reflecting on the journey that has brought me to this moment, I am reminded of the countless individuals who have inspired me along the way. The ones who have faced unimaginable challenges, yet still managed to find the strength to persevere. The ones who have shown me that even in the darkest of times, there is always hope. And the ones who have taught me that it's not the falling down that defines us, but the getting back up, the learning from our mistakes, and the growing into stronger, wiser, and more compassionate versions of ourselves. I think about the people who have been marginalized, oppressed, and silenced. The ones who have been told they are not enough, that they don't belong, or that their voices don't matter. And yet, they continue to rise up, to speak out, and to fight for their rights, their dignity, and their place in this world. They are the true heroes, the ones who inspire me to be a better version of myself, to use my voice to amplify theirs, and to create a world that is more just, more equitable, and more loving. As I look out at the world around me, I see a complex tapestry of beauty and brokenness, of joy and suffering, of love and hate. And I am reminded that we are all in this together, that our individual stories are part of a larger narrative that is still unfolding. I see the ways in which our actions, our choices, and our words have the power to either harm or heal, to either divide or unite. And I know that the choices we make, the words we speak, and the actions we take have the power to shape not just our own lives, but the lives of those around us, and the world we leave behind. So, I want to leave you with a challenge today. A challenge to be the change you wish to see in the world. To be the light in the darkness, the hope in the desperation, and the love in the hate. To use your voice to speak out against injustice, to stand up for what is right, and to fight for the dignity and worth of every human being. To be the safe haven, the listening ear, and the comforting presence that someone needs. To be the one who sees, who hears, and who validates the humanity of another. And when the road ahead seems uncertain and the journey gets tough, I want you to remember that you are not alone. That there are people who believe in you, who support you, and who will walk alongside you every step of the way. That you have within you a strength, a resilience, and a courage that can overcome even the most daunting obstacles. And that you have the power to create, to imagine, and to bring into being a world that is more just, more loving, and more beautiful than the one we have today. So let us rise up, my friends, and let us make our mark on this world. Let us leave it a better place than we found it, and let us create a legacy that will outlast us. Let us be the ones who bring people together, who build bridges, and who foster understanding. Let us be the ones who bring hope to the hopeless, comfort to the suffering, and love to the lonely. And let us never forget that we are all in this together, and that our individual stories are part of a larger narrative that is still unfolding.